In this video, we're going to talk about specialized connective tissue types. So let's start with hyaline cartilage. The general functions of hyaline cartilage are going to be supporting, protecting, and providing a framework. They exist at the ends of bones, so they make up parts of joints, the nose, and the rings of the walls of respiratory passages. Now, the important thing to keep in mind about the histology of hyaline cartilage is that you're going to have this extracellular matrix, which is made up of a lot of types of proteins, ground material, and you're going to have these cells, okay? Now, cartilage cells are called chondrocytes, and they exist in little spaces called lacunae, or one individual space would be called a lacuna. Now, a different type of cartilage is going to be elastic cartilage. The functions are almost the same, except that it provides a more flexible framework. The extracellular matrix of elastic cartilage is going to include a lot more elastin fibers, which are visible when you look at the picture here. And they make up the framework of the external ear and also parts of the larynx. Now, fibrocartilage is another type of cartilage. Same general functions as hyaline cartilage, but the extracellular matrix of this type of tissue is going to include a lot more collagen fibers, which you can see in this image. And once again, they have lacuna and they have chondrocytes, which are cartilage cells. Some of the places where you're lucky to see them is going to be intervertebral discs, parts of the pelvic girdle, and also the menisci of the knee, what they call the meniscus, basically. Now, bone tissue, the general functions are supporting, protecting, and absorbing shock. It includes all of the bones of the human skeleton. Now, here is the histology. When you're talking about cortical bone or the outer layer of long bones, which are more dense, the way the tissue looks like is that they are basically organized in these little rings. Now, each little ring unit, I should really use a red here, each little ring unit is called an osteon, okay? And each little layer, or really like a ring within this unit, is going to be called a lamella. So if you look, this would be a lamella, this would be a lamella, this would be a lamella, like that. And multiple lamellas coming together make up an osteon. Now, in the middle of the osteon is going to be this hole, which is called the central canal, where nerves and blood vessels are going to supply the bone. Similar to cartilage, the cells are going to be within these little spaces called lacuna. But in this case, instead of there being chondrocytes, cartilage cells within the lacuna, you're going to have osteocytes within the lacunae. Now, canaliculi, you can really see them better in this image. Okay. There are these little extensions. So this right here is a osteocyte, and these little extensions coming out of them are going to be canaliculi. They are little cellular extensions that the bone cells use to communicate with other bone cells and to give nutrients to one another. Now, here is another image. You can see the lacuna, or the little space that the bone cell is inside of. The canaliculi are going to be these cellular extensions. You can see a lot of them here like that, which allow the bone cell to communicate with other bone cells. And then the little thing in the middle is going to be the osteocyte, or the bone cell itself. Now, I think that that picture looks beautiful right there. Lastly, let's talk about blood. Blood is going to be involved in the transport of substances and is going to be helping keep a stable internal environment, homeostasis, basically. Now, blood is usually going to be inside of veins, arteries, and heart chambers. When you look at the histology slides, you you're going to have plasma, which is the liquid portion of anticoagulated blood, or really the extracellular matrix of blood, which is going to be made out of liquid, really. And then you're going to have little platelets, which are dead pieces of, or really pieces of dead blood cells. You're going to have red blood cells, which their primary job is to carry oxygen around. And you also have white blood cells, which are involved. There are different types of white blood cells. They have a lot of different functions depending on what type of white blood cell you're looking at. A lot of them are usually involved in the immune system.